Hello, everyone. This is Coach Jackie Zach, and I'm excited to have Jennifer Lau-Hatcher from One and Fund with us today. Jennifer is a dynamic entrepreneur and co-founder of One and Fund. Jennifer's career has been a testament to building people and businesses, establishing strategic programs, overcoming obstacles. Jennifer's deep understanding of finance and training, coupled with her creative approach, have established her as a trusted authority in the home improvement field. Her coaching empowers businesses to achieve rapid growth. And as a leader at One and Fund, Jennifer continues to serve through the company's mission to create value through connectivity. Her passion, commitment to excellence, and innovation makes her a sought after speaker and visionary leader. In her downtime, she likes to walk around on a broken foot for 3 weeks, right? Walking, she walked around for 3 weeks, but including walking a scavenger hunt through Balboa Island. And you're most proud of breaking generational patterns. I'm very interested in learning more about that. It is my pleasure to welcome Jennifer to the show today. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello, Jackie. How are you today?
I am excellent. How are you?
I'm living the dream. I get to be here.
Excellent. I love it. All right. So why don't we just jump right in? Tell us a
Sure.
little bit about your personal story.
Yeah, born and raised in Wisconsin, so you will hear some of my long A's and O's come out as I'm talking. Uh, First person in my family to graduate a four-year college on both sides of my family, which was really exciting. I started my career with a teaching degree, but I did not go into teaching. I actually went into a role where I could use my educational background and business, and it was at Sylvan Learning Center where I got to not only help families get the supplemental education they needed, but to help grow business and learn a lot of the business side of things that I still use to this day. So that was the beginning of my career. Fast forward through many years, we'll leave how many years out of it, but fast forward through many years, and I found myself in the finance world. I was
Hmm.
working for one of the biggest banks in our country for almost 9 years, building out training to help people utilize affordability and payment options. And then I went over to the strategic side and was strategically building out large enterprise accounts and um, business opportunities that could be large enterprise accounts. It was my job to not only identify them, but to help build them. And I've used that in the several fintech companies I've been with since then, and in in my own business, One and Fund.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about your leadership style.
Yeah, absolutely. So my leadership style is it is definitely a servant leadership style. One of my personal values or purpose, if you will, is that I am here to positively influence all who know me and society at large. Boom, right? That's a
Right.
really, really big, broad statement.
Yeah.
And so one of the ways that I do that is through my servant leadership. I am here to help others grow. I am here to help problem solve. I'm an excellent problem solver. Need the team to execute on those things, but can help solve that problem. And so I want to help make others' lives easier. I want to help others grow in their career. And I'm also the type of leader that is not scared to metaphorically get my hands dirty. So I
Right.
am rolling up my sleeves. I am in the trenches with my team, and we are locked arms going through things together. That's my leadership style.
Excellent. That's wonderful. So tell us a little bit more about One and Fun, your target market, who you serve, anything you want us to know about One and Fun.
Okay, now here's where I get really excited. Uh, so, One in Fund is a fintech company born in Wisconsin, and we have even brought really good talent into this beautiful state to work from our headquarters here. But One in Fund is a sales enablement platform. What I mean by that is we help home improvement contractors and manufacturers close more deals or sell more projects through use of our platform. And everything that we've done in our platform is built from the viewpoint of that home improvement contractor who may be sitting at your kitchen table trying to help you get a deck or a shower or a roof or whatever that you either want or that you really need. Sometimes it's
Mhm.
a safety issue and these things are in need. One of the big things that's lacking in the industry today is how do we make it affordable? That
Mhm.
affordable piece is the critical piece, right?
Sure.
Nobody's getting the project they want if they can't figure out how to pay for it. And so at One in Fund, like I said, we are a sales enablement tool. We have a proprietary and patent pending platform called the
Nice.
One Look platform. And that One Look platform ultimately helps get higher approvals and get more projects on the books.
So is your customer the contractor? And then you help
Yes,
them close the deal by they can offer financing through you to their customers. Is that
correct. Yep.
excellent?
Yes. So
Excellent. I wish I
our
would have known
customer
about you. We had a lot of hail here, and I'm getting new siding and a new roof, and I wish I would have known. So
so
yeah, so that's a great service for people because you're absolutely right. Sometimes you need it, sometimes you want it, and sometimes and it's no small spend, right?
no, it
So
comes with a significant price tag. And
okay.
even in the case of, let's say, hail, if insurance is covering it, sometimes there's large deductibles. And so
Mhm.
people either don't have the ability or don't want to write that big check for that large deductible.
Right.
How do we make it fit into our life where we are right now and make it comfortable so we can still get what we want and need? But to
That-
directly answer your question, yes, we are a B2B2C model. We work
right.
directly with the contractors, and as I said, with manufacturers. We play very, very well with manufacturers as well.
Awesome. Excellent. So when did you realize you had the confidence to run your own business?
So, interestingly enough, I I have taken on different business endeavors
Mhm.
even since I was 18 years old. Um, when I was 18 years old and I was in college, I didn't live in the dorms. I had an apartment with a
Mhm.
roommate because that was my path. And we had a fire. And it was
Oh.
devastating and terrifying. And I can still smell the that burnt plastic smell
Mhm.
to this day. I can't eat mesquite string cheese because it smells like fire. But, I digress, but at 18, to get extra money to help recoup many of the lost things, as well as in my own way teach fire safety,
Mhm.
I became a consultant with Party Light, which is,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know if they're still around or not, but they used to be around, and it was candles and candle accessories, and they had beautiful product lines. But that
Mhm.
was my first my business that I ran and grew through that type of modeling.
Mhm.
And I understand there's a lot of support in that. So to more directly answer the question, in 2001, I want to say, time goes real fast in entrepreneur world. So it all kind of
Mhm.
gels together. In
Yeah.
2001, I had started the company that I had before this company and really had started it as kind of this side hustle passion project
Mhm.
that I expected to take 3 to 6 years to grow, and then I'd be able to put more time on it, and it took off very, very quickly. And so that was enormously exciting. It was also really frightening, and I'm coming to the confidence piece because I
Yep.
I had this thing that was incredible and growing and required my full-time attention, but I wasn't sure if I had the confidence to leave
Mhm.
this security that I finally found in my professional career to where I felt like I was getting paid what I was worth, and I negotiated for it, and I worked really hard to get to the level I was at. So I'm not sure I was confident, but I was willing and fearless enough to take the leap to
Yep.
go into running that full time, which
Right.
has led into this company.
Awesome. So, if you could do something differently, if you could go back to the beginning of your career, do something differently or change something, is there anything you would do differently or change?
I don't believe in regret, so let me
Good.
start my answer with that.
Great.
But yes, there are many things that I would do differently. There's a quote that I love that seems to be more relevant every single year. And the quote is youth is wasted on the young. And and I bring that connected to business because you don't know what you don't know.
Hmm.
And so young in my career, I was given leadership roles. I was given significant responsibility. And I see now the many ways that I could have been better or stronger. So if I could go back, I would ask more questions and
Mm.
I would seek out mentors. I
Yes.
didn't have mentors in a formal sense in my beginning of my career. I had people who
Mhm.
gave advice here and there, but
Sure.
I didn't have mentors. And so I would 1000% recommend every young person starting their career find some mentors in your world who are successful, who check the boxes of what you might want to be like someday and ask them for help because the business professionals that I've worked with along the years and who are very successful are more than willing to give their time to help people
Yeah.
coming up through the ranks.
Absolutely. And I really like that you said that seek out help because
Yes.
it's amazing how much of a difference it would make. And because as you're talking, I'm thinking, yeah, that sounds just like me. So I totally get that. Asking for help thing is huge, and it isn't a weakness. It is a strength to be able to say, hey, I want to go here. I need help getting there so I can get there faster, kind of thing, right?
Right. Or I'm dealing with this situation.
Yep.
I don't know how to deal with it. What would you do or what have you done? Things like that. I mean, the first time you have to fire somebody is horrifying.
Yes,
It
it
would have been
absolutely
so
is.
I'm sure it would have been better for both me and the person whom unfortunately I had to let go,
Hmm.
if I had had help in any way, shape, or form, because I was flying blind.
Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what is a common myth about being a founder that you want to dispel?
Ooh, there's many of them. One that I'm particularly passionate about is that you don't have to be male and you don't have to be named John. So before, and I say that lovingly, we have Johns in our world. I love them greatly, right? Um, but to be a founder, anybody can be a founder. It takes courage, it takes grit, it takes perseverance, it takes many, many, many characteristics. But one of those characteristics is not that you have to be male. And so
Hmm.
I am extraordinarily passionate about spreading that message loud and wide and clear because in the industry I'm in, the two industries I'm in that intersect, home improvement and finance, both
Yes.
statistically have very low numbers of female leaders in them. In home improvement, period, there's only about 14% females. And oftentimes, females are in the supporting roles, not
Yes.
the leading roles. And so that's I not to get on a total soapbox, but as a female founder, my soapbox is that you can be female and that you can also embody qualities that may be categorized as feminine
Hmm.
that make you actually a stronger, better leader.
Yes.
So having empathy, cueing into your emotional intelligence. And if you don't know what emotional intelligence is, Google it. There's probably 300 different books on it, right?
Right.
You know, and be authentic to who you are,
Hmm.
period, and own your strengths, regardless of who you are. Those are the a couple things that I would want to call out because for a long time I personally was trying to fit into a box that I thought you
Yes.
had to fit into,
Hmm.
and I learned along the way that that's just not true.
Right. And you're absolutely right about embracing your strengths and embracing who you are versus trying to fit into a box. I wanted to go, yay, sister.
It never works. It just never
Right,
works.
right.
So show
Exactly.
show up authentically and
Yes.
your life will be so much easier.
Yes, absolutely, right. So what you've given us a couple of really interesting insights, but what are some more insights that you've learned or advice you've received in the past that you feel is worth sharing?
Yeah, I would say the authenticity and embracing your authenticity is probably
Hmm.
one of the biggest ones that uh, made an impact in my world. Because for so long, I did get advice contrary to that, and I was trying to
Hmm.
fit into a box. I have a lot of energy. You can probably even feel that and see that coming through the
Yep.
computer. So for a long time, I was told, you need to keep your energy down because when you have so much energy, people aren't hearing the message you're trying to say. And so
Hmm.
I tried to be quiet and subdue. And that's just not who I am. And
Right.
it was so frustrating to try to keep all this bubbliness under wraps because I can't be bubbly and energetic and still be a strong business leader. Like, that's not true. The truth is, if you show up authentically, you will be so much more powerful. So that would be one. Um, Another one that I've recently gotten, and I've got this from an incredible male leader within multiple industries, but he's just everything he touches is successful because he's authentically leading his companies and going
Hmm.
after what makes sense. But he truly is just a brilliant marketing brain and business brain overall. So when
Yeah.
he gives advice, I listen to it very, very closely. Um, his advice was listen to your intuition. If your gut is trying
Hmm.
to tell you something, there is a reason. Listen to it.
Yeah.
And so that's another one that I wanna share because that almost seems counterintuitive and almost too woo-woo for
Hmm.
business, like,
Right.
"Oh, you can't listen to your gut in business. You go with this over here." But if you're not listening to your gut or intuition, um,
Hmm.
all the numbers on the page in whatever way we wanna massage them to fit the story we're trying to tell will never make sense. So,
Yeah.
I thought that was a really thoughtful and, like I said, interesting piece of advice that I had gotten recently and different than some of the standard stuff that you hear.
Right. Oh, I love that. I love it.
Yeah.
So, what's something new that you want to learn outside of work?
Ooh, okay. So something I don't know if it's a learn or learn to enjoy would be a
Hmm.
better descriptor of it. But outside of my professional world, I have always wanted to be a runner. Always. Now,
Oh, yeah.
I have given myself grace as the years have gone on, even to realize that in my own way, I was a runner. Now, I will never be a gazelle. I'm never going to run like a 7-minute mile. I'm, I'm pushing 5'2" at best. It's just not happening.
Hmm.
For other people, it can. For me, I'm accepting it's not. But I just want to be able to get out and go jogging and enjoy it. And I realize that 10 years ago, even, yeah, about 10 years ago was probably the last time. 10 years ago or so, I used to do that and I used to enjoy it. And so I realized it was part of my life, I just wasn't acknowledging it in the way that I wanted it to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have now put it back out there for the whole world to hear several times, Jackie.
Excellent.
I am lacing up my tennies and I am going to become a runner in a new, more graceful version of what I expect that to look like.
Excellent. And have some fun doing it too, right?
That's the learning part, right? Of learning to be able to enjoy it versus the I have to check this box
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of thing. That's the learning part for me. I want to enjoy it. So I'm working on that
Well,
in
I can't
my
wait. I can't wait to hear
yeah,
how that works out for you in the coming months. That's awesome. So,
thank you.
what areas of business have you always wanted to become more expert in?
Ooh, okay. Wanted to I've always wanted to be one of those people who's really, really great at picking and trading stocks.
Mm,
What a skill, right? Like,
right.
wow. And again, I'm at a point in life where I'm giving myself transparency and grace.
Mm-hmm.
And the transparency and grace part is I could be good at it if I devoted more time to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would benefit me in business world as well as personal world. But it's something that just I'm not giving time to because at this very second it doesn't get priority over the other business things that I'm working on.
Sure.
So that would be one that I'd always love to have a stronger skill set in and just be a whiz at it. Um but that's not in my cards at this time.
Right. So, it's on the list of
Yeah,
things,
it's on
right?
the
It's on the
list.
list of
Yeah.
things. So,
Mhm.
so what's the next big thing for you in your business?
Yes. Okay. So we we have a magical, beautiful business, and those are my descriptors. Probably not the same descriptors that my co-founders would use. But we're doing a lot of really, really big things. We are in the final stages of going live with the biggest home improvement lender in the United States right now.
Nice.
So that's big, that's exciting. That allows us to serve so many more contractors and manufacturers in a way that they need
Right.
within the industry. So that's really big and exciting. We have a technology roadmap that's really aggressive. So I could rattle off a whole bunch of things off the top of my head, but I think the ones that I'm most excited about are the ones where we get to make those really big impacts
Mm,
where it is those integrations, whether it be with certain lenders. So again, that we can help more people,
right.
or whether it be with manufacturing relationships. So we can help them move more product. And in so doing, we're helping people get the product they need and want, right? It all
Right.
comes full circle for me. So for me, like those are the really big exciting things that I'm excited that are on the horizon. With that, we've grown extremely rapidly. We will continue to grow extremely rapidly, and we will be continuing to build out our team. And I am biased, as I should be. We have
Mhm.
the best team in the entire world. I
Great.
wouldn't trade them for anything. And so it's really exciting that we get to offer people the opportunity to be part of a startup fintech and be in the exciting days where there's always something fun and exciting going on. There's
Right.
always new things coming in, and it's a unique opportunity to build one's professional skill set in a little bit different way than you would if you were in a long established company where you had a
Hmm.
role and you did your role in your box every
Right.
day, and still valuable, still learning a ton. It's just a different breadth of skills that one gets to work on here. And so I'm really excited about how we get to expand our team as well.
Oh, that's awesome. So, with great expansion, and congratulations, that's fabulous that
Thank
you're
you.
able to do so much expanding and growing fast. That's amazing. So, with all of that growth and expansion, what are the big challenges that, because most of the people that will see our interview are business owners just like you, right?
Sure.
So, what are some big challenges that you feel like you are either facing or will face as you uh, experience this rapid growth?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, we look at the three P's, right?
Yep.
People, processes, and product. Do we have the right people in the right seats? Every business owner is going through that. Every business owner needs to challenge themselves on that every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Here in our business, we have chosen to adopt the EOS model for the
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur operating system. And so that's one of those pieces, right? Where we need to evaluate and make sure we have the right people in the right
Mm-hmm.
spots, because otherwise your growth can stall out in certain areas. So you know, much like every other business on the planet, we are still evaluating those things. With that process, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are constantly challenging our processes to make sure that they are working for where we are now and where we are
Mm-hmm.
trying to go to. And as a younger company, like I said, I'd still consider us in startup mode. We have to evaluate that all the time, and we do challenge ourselves on that, and we have a workout coming up on Monday of next week for on some of our processes for that exact reason. And then the last one, again, I would be remiss if I didn't say it, and every business owner who's grown really, really rapidly
Mm-hmm.
would, I'm sure, say this as well. The scalability factor. What does that scalability look like in terms of
Mm-hmm.
your three Ps? But what does that scalability also look like in terms of your budget and your revenue and your monetary responsibilities
Mm-hmm.
within an organization? Because that all has to come to balance, right? There isn't an endless pot of money that just exists that you can keep pulling from. And if there is, by all means, call me and tell me where you
Right.
found it. Like, bring it my way. I would love an endless pot of no. Genuinely though, that's the other part of it is it's
Yeah.
not only getting the right processes and the right people in place, but it's making sure it's scalable and that it is working within the budgetary restraints, I'll say, that your company has. And so those are
Right.
some of the challenges like every other business we
You
face.
bet. You bet. You bet. And again, growth is amazing. And the fact that you've identified some of the challenges, and you're absolutely right about that. And the people, process, and product, and the scalability, all things that I think a lot of business owners go through, and they're great problems to have because that means you're growing, right? So,
Right.
what advice do you have for business owners who are trying to do it on their own?
Ooh, okay. First and foremost, give yourself grace. Number
Mm-hmm.
one, give yourself grace because there is nobody on this whole planet out there running a business and doing it perfectly.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't exist, right? So I I believe a lot of times we have a vision of how we want things to go, and
Mm-hmm.
then when that starts to unravel, it can feel really, really frustrating. So give yourself grace and keep working towards that vision and working towards those goals and those KPIs and all of those different things. But understand that there's so many pieces that have to come together in
Yeah.
the right way for those things to happen. So grace is number one. The next one, get some sleep.
Mm. Oh,
I
yeah. I love that piece of advice. You're absolutely right.
because and I am a recovering workaholic myself. So I still have times where I'm setting my alarm for, 3:30 in the morning, technically 3:37. I don't know why it's 3:37, but it is 3:37. So I can get on my computer and I can do a bunch of work before I go do my day of meetings. Now, if I go to bed at a good time, if I'm in bed anywhere before 10, 3:37 comes, I've got 5.5 hours theoretically, like, hey, I can still function like a human. But if I'm not going to bed at a good time, or I'm doing it not because I want to, but because I'm stressed and I have to,
Hmm.
then it doesn't feel good and
Yeah.
the days go not as well as they could. So get yourself some sleep. I don't care where you get it, but get the sleep because we all need it to function as humans.
Hmm. Right, exactly. Well, Jennifer, it sounds like you've been also blessed with lots of incredible people who've helped you along the way. What would you like to say to them?
Oh my gosh. Uh I would like to say to them, thank you for believing in me. Even even at times, with some of the people I've had, incredible mentors and friends that
Hmm.
I've had, amongst the years, you know, people who have believed in me. I had a coworker who once told me, he's like, before you get on a call, I want you to remind yourself, I am worthy. You have earned this. You deserve to be here.
Hmm.
And so for years, I had a post-it note on my computer on the bottom of my laptop that said, I am worthy. And so the people who believed in me and helped coach me and were brave enough to say things like that to me because they were good friends and were a little more seasoned in their career than me,
Hmm.
it has been astronomical and it's been so positive for me. And if I can pay that forward in any way, that's really one of my goals. I'm beyond grateful.
That's wonderful. Well, Jennifer, it has been such a pleasure speaking with you today, learning a little bit more about you, learning a little bit more about your business. And thank you so much for being on the show.
Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.